It's time for the main event with Zach Gelb and Chase Senior on Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP.
Live from the palatial yet not overly ostentatious studios of WHIP Radio here in Philadelphia, Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP. It is 3 minutes past 11 o'clock, and it is time for the main event. Zach Gelb and Chase Senior here with you on this Tuesday, November 19th, 2013. Have an action-packed show for you today. A lot of football. We're going to talk about the disaster call last night on Monday Night Football. Do some Eagles talks, as now, in my estimation, they are the favorites in the NFC East. Talk about the crushing and devastating loss that Temple football put you through on Saturday. And we'll also talk to NFL Network's very own Heath Evans at 11:30. But since it's a Tuesday and this weather continues to suck as it goes from hot to cold, cold to hot, and now we're back at the cold, and it's messing up everything inside my system, as I just feel like I'm so infected today, and I feel bad that I have to sit in front of Chase Senior and just talk right in front of him and have to give him off all those bad, evil feelings that are going off inside my body. But Chase, how are you today, brother?
Doing good, man. I'm lucky. I've been drinking some orange juice, drinking the vitamin C to strengthen my immune system because you're working that vibe over here. That cloud of sickness is kind of starting to move my way.
It's usually really good, and it just has been terrible this year.
It's that weather.
I get a flu shot. Maybe it's because of the flu shot that I got here. Because going into Rite Aid, it's just a disaster.
How can one's body deal with 40 degrees one day, 30 the next, then 4 or 5 days later, 75, and today, what is it, around 50 or 60? The fluctuating temperature changes are just killing me. They're killing everybody. They're killing you firsthand. I can see you're not feeling too well.
I will say this, though. If the Pats would have won last night, I probably would have been feeling like $1 million. And let me just start off the show with this. I cannot believe that official who was 5 feet away from Rob Gronkowski threw the flag, and it was clearly pass interference. And if you don't want to argue pass interference, then it's clearly a hold. And if you argue either of those, you just don't know what you're talking about. And bad job by ESPN last night, the ref that they had, because he just had no clue what he was talking about in the postgame.
He said he agreed with it, yeah.
At first he said he agreed with it, and then he didn't know the rule, and he terribly just explained the rule wrong. And that's why Pereira and Jim D do the good jobs on Twitter. However, that was clearly pass interference. You never want to see a game end that way. Gronkowski was getting mugged. You can never say a ball to Rob Gronkowski isn't uncatchable. He continues to make great catches year after year. He has 40 touchdowns in his young career. And I'm sitting there last night, and the thing that agitates me the most and makes me so in a livid mood this morning is the referees went out there. They picked up the flag, but they never gave an explanation on the field. If you're going to make that much of a crucial call, you have to go out there and give some kind of explanation on the field. You can't just wait till after the game until you have your PR people come over and develop some BS statement. And the Pats got screwed last night. They got robbed. That was disgusting.
And I can see why they didn't want to call the penalty because it is late in the game. There's always physical contact on a quote-unquote Hail Mary, even though Tom Brady didn't really put much behind that throw. But if you throw the flag, you're obviously throwing it for a reason. There's got to be a validated reason why you let that flag go out of your pocket and lay on the turf. You didn't just drop it there by accident. You saw something and threw the flag because maybe there was a penalty. And when you look at the replay, Gronkowski's getting mugged by Luke Kuechly. Kuechly is giving him a hug like I would give to my mother when I come back to Christmas and I see her.
Well, I Chase Senior mother. She's a saint.
I mean, why? That's the only reason. Why no explanation? You throw the flag and then the head official, I forget what his name is, says there is no penalty on the field. The game is over. Okay, you got to give credit to the Carolina Panthers. They came back. They won that game. They executed down the stretch. Cam Newton was looking like Randall Cunningham out there. And Tom Brady didn't have his best game. 1 touchdown to 1 pick. Didn't play bad, but also didn't have his greatest game. And the defense flopped late in the game. Injuries have a lot to do with that, but still, if you throw the flag in such a key situation, either don't throw it at all, keep that flag in your pocket, or if you throw it, can we get a damn explanation, please?
And also, I want some consistency, because when Carolina was driving on 3rd down, Devin McCourty was straight up with this man, and Greg Olsen actually initiated the contact at first, and they threw a pass interference penalty on there that gave the Carolina the first down, which eventually led to the Ted Ginn touchdown. So if you're going to go out there and be an official in this league, I only ask for one thing, and that's consistency.
Yeah.
And there was no consistency last night, and the fact that he didn't give an explanation is a complete joke. And, give credit to Belichick in the postgame where he was saying, I really can't go up there and yell at the official because last time I did that against the Baltimore Ravens, the last time the Pats got screwed with that bad field goal call, he got fined a lot of money because he initiated contact with the referee. But give credit to Tom Brady after the game for going up to the refs and pretty much just saying, F you, that's BS. And also, Ryan Mallett, please, you're the backup. I don't need you to back up Tom Brady in an argument. Just sit down, please.
Zach, I know you're a lifelong Patriots fan. Have you ever seen anything as awkward as that post-game press conference with Belichick and the media?
Yes.
He was mean-mugging every single media member, and the media members were shaking in their boots. They weren't even able to ask a question because they knew Belichick was so pissed off. He went to the podium, and I want to say it was about 30 to 45 seconds of just awkward silence. He answers the first question, another 30 to 45 seconds of awkward silence. But it's not him. It's the media members. They're out there. They're supposed to do their job. They're supposed to be asking the questions. Zach, if you and I were at that press conference, I'm sure we could have asked some questions.
The Bill Belichick press conference, there's nothing more that is more pointless in sports than a Bill Belichick post-game press conference. Because the first question, the only question that mattered was, did you get an explanation from official? No. Then the guy followed up and said,
four straight
times. Like, come on. I understand you want to get a little bit of quote in your post-game press conference for your article, but there's no reason why Bill Belichick should ever do a post-game press conference again because it's just completely pointless. Now, the questions I want to know.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
It was hilarious, but I was so livid on Twitter last night. That was, I'm just really, I'm not going to get over
former colleague Brad Feldman was going back and forth with you on WHIP.
He disagreed with me, and then he agreed with me. He had no argument.
I have an issue with people who come up with arguments, and, arguing over Twitter is fine. That's what it's for. That's one of the elements of Twitter. It's good to have a discussion with people via Twitter, especially when it comes to sports, because everybody has their opinion. Everybody's subject to their respective opinions. But when you make an argument, know the game. That's all I ask.
Oh, yeah.
Don't come out, don't be in my mentions, and just have no clue of what's going on in between the stripes. And that's what you get all the time in Twitter. You get these bogus knuckleheads who have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
I wanted to ask Belichick 3 questions last night. Did they give you an explanation? 4, actually. Did they give you an explanation? Did you think it was pass interference or holding? The next question would be, why did Josh McDaniels run the ball on 3rd and 1 when all they were doing, throw the ball on 3rd and 1, when all they were doing was run the ball on that drive and it was successful? And then the final question that I would have asked is, why can't your defense get off the field on 3rd down? Those are the 4 questions I would have asked in the post-game press conference last night. I know some reporters didn't go there, but hey, that's just the nature of this business. Like I said, the Bill Belichick post-game press conference is an absolute complete joke. He should just stop doing them because in reality, it means diddly squat until that team wins another Lombardi trophy. Now, here's the thing. That's pass interference. It's holding, whatever you want to call for it. The Patriots should have had one more play in that game. If they get down to the 1-yard line on pass interference, in my opinion, they run the ball right up the middle with Stephen Ridley, they win the game because Ridley's a tough physical back. That Patriots team is not worse than the Carolina Panthers. Give credit to the Panthers, though. They went out there and they won the game, and Cam Newton extended the play with his legs. And everyone wants to complain and moan about Cam Newton and his babiness that he had last year how he was selfish. That's gone.
That's out
this
the
guy's
window.
A winner. He did it in college,
He's for real.
and now he's doing it in the pros. And this Carolina Panthers team with that defense is going to be a tough out in the playoffs. Now, I don't think they're going to be Super Bowl bound, but what Cam Newton showed you last night against one of the most elite teams in the NFL and the most elite quarterback and coach combination probably ever in this sport, they were able to go out there and get a victory last night.
I'll tell you what.
Good football team in Carolina.
I'll tell you
good
what.
Football team.
The Saints are looking like the class of the NFC South, but if the Panthers do get that wild card spot, and I fully expect them to do that, they're going to be a very dangerous team on the road. And when you look at my Philadelphia Eagles, they're leading the NFC East right now. If they're able to maintain that lead in the division, they're going to be hosting a game in the playoffs, first round NFC wildcard matchup. Panthers, 49ers, they could be that team if the Eagles are able to hold on that the Birds have to take on at Lincoln Financial Field. No way I'm taking the Eagles over the Panthers and the 49ers right now.
Also,
experienced teams. Panthers last year was supposed to be good, didn't live up to expectations. Second half of the season, they really started to tear it up, and Cam Newton, I think he's in a contract year right now, is starting to prove his worth. He's a real deal. Let me ask you this, though.
Yeah.
3rd and 1, Patriots driving.
Should have run the ball.
Late in the game. Stephen Ridley, I know he has had some fumbling problems.
Does not matter.
Earlier on in the season. He wasn't as good as he was last year. Fumbled earlier on in the matchup with the Panthers last night. Why do you pass the ball there? And do you agree with that call?
I disagree with it. I usually do not complain when they pass on it with 3rd and short with Tom Brady. However, Josh McDaniels has to really look himself in the mirror because the bread and butter on that drive was running hard with LeGarrette Blount and Stephen Ridley. And on 3rd and 1, you run the ball there. And you have to find a way to get a yard there. If you can't get a yard on 3rd and 1, running the football, I take it. But how about this? Why didn't they just do a quarterback sneak with Tom Brady? Tom Brady's one of the best 3rd down quarterbacks of all time.
He's a big dude. Obviously, he's gonna knuckle down, put his cleats in the turf. He's going to get that 1 yard.
They lost the game on that one. That play started to decline.
You got to think that the Patriots have one of the most underrated three-headed monsters in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, LeGarrette Blount's going to give you the ground and pound.
Night?
Shane Vereen, after a fabulous week 1, missed a couple of weeks with that injury, comes back last night. A little rusty. Maybe should have caught that ball, I think, on the wheel route or screen pass towards the far sideline.
He extended a lot of drives last night.
He's good.
He's
and
Kevin Falk
Stephen
2.0.
Ridley last year had a fantastic season. He's on my fantasy team this year. Isn't really living up to the hype that he had coming into the season,
on late,
but
though.
He's been pretty good. Another thing I got to ask you, how concerned are you with some of the injuries right now? Danny Amendola hasn't been able to stay on the field. Obviously, Gronk is back, but on the defensive side of the ball, a lot of question marks. They weren't able to get off the field, some injuries surrounding the Patriots right now, and they don't seem to be that consistent team that we've seen in years past.
I've actually been very impressed with the defense. They've been getting pressure. Both Joneses, Chris and Chandler, have been getting pressure. Ninkovich is looking really good, but they lose Wilfork, they lose Mayo. Talib's been out for a long period of time, too. Gregory didn't play last night. Denard didn't play last night. And this is a team that's still 7-3. And their 2 losses both came out of controversy. 2 of the 3 losses both came controversial calls out of the officials. Let's not forget that Jets lost.
You lose all those good players, and you're still in the position.
Plug in. Next man up. That's what they do.
Right.
That's what started the dynasty.
It's incredible.
Bledsoe went down. Brady came in.
You lose all those
Brady
guys, and you're implementing these guys in the game plan that a lot of people in the football world have never even heard of.
Yeah.
And they're still the team that they are. Credit to great coaching by Bill Belichick and the rest of the staff, because every year the Patriots are in it to the end. They are Super Bowl contenders every single season. Bill Belichick, good coaching staff, one of the best to ever do.
You want to hear something else, too?
I'll
guarantee it right now. Pats are going to beat the Broncos.
They're going to
beat the Broncos.
Big game.
They will beat the Broncos.
You can't go down 2 straight. Patriots haven't really been able to string together a lot of consistent performances so far this year. Tough game against the Panthers. It could have gone either way. Going back to Foxborough, huge game against the Broncos. It's a statement game for New England. I agree with you. I think the Pats could come out on top.
215-204-9449 is the number if you want to call and hang with us. We'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we need to talk some Temple football Owls.
Heartbreaker.
And what they did to us on Saturday. We will complain. My
heart is split.
Coming up next on the main event.